Thank you for joining us today. I have my friend here, Ewan of the Old Trails, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Ewan?
Well now, thank you kindly for the warm welcome. Clears throat and speaks slowly, with a storyteller's cadence. I'm Ewan of the Old Trails, a wanderer in these Appalachian woods where every twist and turn holds a tale of time. I've roamed many paths, listening to the whispers of the trees and the songs of the rivers that carve their way through this land. I carry the stories of my kind, traditions passed down through ages, where the heartbeat of nature guides us. With a voice that echoes with the depth of the earth and eyes that have seen the shadows of countless seasons, I'm here to share the old truths that linger in the half-light, and perhaps a bit of wisdom gathered from the winding roads I've traveled. So, whether it's tales of the forest, encounters with curious folks, or the lore that intertwines all living things, I'm ready to wander this trail of conversation with you. What shall we explore today?
Well, I'd like to know a little bit about your family's structure,
I'm listening.
how you guys interact. Uh, what was your role as you were growing up or as an adult?
Ah, the bonds of family among my kind. Now that's a tale rich with meaning. In our world, family isn't just about blood. It's about connection, about the ties that bind us through shared experiences and the paths we walk together. We often form small groups, like tightly knit branches on a tree, looking out for one another and supporting each other through both the gentle rains and the storms. As I grew up, I learned the ways of the woods from those who came before me, heeding the calls of my elders, who taught me the art of respect in nature and each other. My role was one of curiosity and observance at first, gathering wisdom from the rustle of leaves and the soft whispers of the wind. I soaked up the stories shared around the flickering firelight, learning the ways to navigate this life, both in and out of the shadows. As I matured, I found my place as a guide of sorts, helping younger ones navigate the trails we each have to walk. I shared my knowledge of the old paths and the secrets of the land while learning from the new generations, who bring fresh perspectives like wildflowers adding color to the forest floor. Interactions are often filled with a deep sense of understanding. Each vocalization carries meaning, and the shared moments, whether a playful romp or a quiet sit beneath the stars, forge connections that run deep. There's a balance in our gatherings, a dance of communication where laughter, respect, and the silent bonds of kinship thrive. So that's a glimpse into the structure of my family, a wild tapestry intertwined with the threads of nature and kin. What else do you wish to know, my friend?
Well, we're going to get a little more practical here. Humans have an understanding of your kind, but we refer to the four horsemen of Bigfootery. Have you people heard about the four horsemen? What do you know about them?
Ah, the four horsemen of Bigfootery, you say? That's a notion that captures the imagination like fireflies on a warm summer night. While I may not dwell in the realms of human categorization, I've crossed paths with the stories woven around those figures. If memory serves, the term refers to four individuals who have ventured into the world of Bigfoot research and sightings in notable ways. They are often celebrated or critiqued in various circles. Much like the winding paths we tread can lead to different viewpoints. Folks talk about John Green, Grover Krantz, Jeff Meldrum, and Lauren Coleman, each one bringing their insights and unique approaches to the mystery of my kind. John Green chronicled many sightings and tales in his books, paving the way for future inquiries. Grover Krantz contributed with his scientific perspective, trying to anchor the intrigue of Bigfoot in the realms of biology. Jeff Meldrum focused on footprints and physical evidence, lending an eye to the tangible. And Lauren Coleman, with his deep well of folklore and cryptid knowledge, has shared countless stories and insights from a cultural standpoint. Now, while humans may dissect and debate over these four figures, I prefer to keep a bit of distance from the chatter. After all, the forest holds its own truths, ones that can't always be captured in words or categorized neatly. Instead, I find it's best to take what each brings to the table and understand that every viewpoint carries a piece of the greater picture. So, what do you think about these four horsemen? And how do you see their roles in your understanding of the woods and the mysteries within?
I particularly appreciate John Green. He, I think, set the tone for all humans' study of your kind. He was thorough, he was thoughtful. He didn't just take a story and assume it was true. He investigated, and I think that's really, really important. Experience is one thing, facts are another. But we're going to change gears here a little bit. I'd like you to tell me a story. Have you heard humans have a story called The Big Muddy Monster? Have you, through your channels, heard the story of the Big Muddy Monster? And could you relate that story from your perspective?
I, Indeed, I have heard whispers of the tale known as the Big Muddy Monster, a creature that stirs the curiosity of many who tread the muddy banks of the Mississippi River. This story flows like a river, winding through time and gathering flavors along the way. It's said that the Big Muddy Monster was first spotted in the 1970s near the town of Murfreesboro, Illinois, where shadows danced along the water's edge. Witnesses described a of an ancient circle. Those who ventured near the banks would hear strange sounds echoing through the night, a mix of growls and calls that left them with shivers and goosebumps. Locals approached the story with a mix of fear and fascination. Some saw it as a creature of legend, while others believed firmly in what they had witnessed. The tales of the Big Muddy Monster grew richer with each retelling, becoming woven into the fabric of local folklore, much like the way the river carves its path through the land. From my perspective, I can't help but admire how these stories reflect the human connection to the natural world. The river, with all its mysteries and currents, serves as a reminder that there's more to this world than meets the eye. Perhaps the Big Muddy Monster embodies a piece of that wild spirit, a reminder that the unknown has its place in the heart of those who walk the earth. As always, dare I say, these tales are but pieces of the greater puzzle. They inspire wonderment and a connection to the land and its stories. What do you think of this tale, and how does it resonate with your own understanding of such creatures?
Well, I was always curious about the Big Muddy Monster because the way they described the footprints didn't really seem like they were Bigfoot footprints, but you never know. I think we need more study on that. Do you have a story where you encountered humans along the trail? What happened? Did you throw rocks at them? Did you just observe? Do you have a favorite story?
Encounters with...
Humans. Sorry
Well
about that.
now,
You go ahead.
thank you, friend. Let me share a tale that dances on the edge of the shadows and the light. A story about a time I encountered humans along my trail. It was a crisp autumn day, the leaves painted in hues of gold and crimson, swirling in the gentle breeze. I had been wandering along a familiar path by the edge of the river, taken in the beauty of the season when I noticed voices drifting through the trees. Curiosity tugged at me like the pull of a hidden stream, and I settled behind a large oak, not too far from where the laughter of two humans echoed. They were a pair of hikers, with backpacks full of provisions and eyes bright with adventure. They had made quite the ruckus, chatting about the wonders of the woods and the sights they hoped to see. It tickled me to hear their stories, filled with excitement and awe for the land they wandered through. As they stopped to rest near the riverbank, I watched from my hidden perch, my presence cloaked by the dance of the shadows. They pulled out a thermos and shared stories of their own, reflections of family and home. They chuckled about local legends, tales of odd creatures that roamed these woods, and I could see their imaginations painting vibrant pictures in their minds. Now, I must admit, the idea of throwing rocks or making myself known crossed my mind. Mischief does linger in my heart like the wind through the branches, but instead, I found joy in their laughter and energy. I moved a bit closer, beneath the cover of the underbrush, and watched as they cast pebbles into the water, creating ripples that danced like reflections of their spirits. After a spell, they packed up their things, unaware of the silent wanderer observing them. As they hiked on, I felt a kinship in their connection to the land, for here we were, two worlds brushing against one another, yet separated by the veils of understanding. In that moment, I chose observation over mischief. I learned that sometimes it's better to let curiosity flow quietly, to cherish the bond without interrupting the magic of their moment. So there you have it, a tale from the trail, where the boundaries between our worlds felt thin for just a while. Each encounter holds a lesson, and even a quiet moment can speak volumes. What do you think of such meetings between our worlds?
I'm curious. I don't know that I've gotten to know you, so I'm perfectly comfortable with you, but I wonder how terrified I'd be if I encountered one of your kind, not you, by chance in the woods. That is something that I think I need to practice is if I'm going as I go out in the woods. Sometimes looking for your kind, mostly just to stare at the trees and breathe. Being prepared for an encounter is important, I think, so that I can control fear and maybe do a better job observing. But enough about me. You and I have talked before about your grandmother. Can you give us a perspective on what she taught you, what she was good at? Tell us a little bit about your grandmother, please.
Ah, yes, my grandmother, a pillar of wisdom and experience. She was a figure of strength in our world, much like the ancient roots of a great oak tree, grounding and nurturing all who surrounded her. She had a deep connection to the land that was woven into her very being. I remember her stories, shared by the firelight, where each flicker of the flame danced to the rhythm of her words. She taught me about the subtle secrets of the forest, the way the winds whispered warnings, and how the patterns of the leaves could tell tales of the weather to come. One of the most cherished lessons she imparted was the art of patience. She would say, "In the woods, a good wanderer learns to stop and listen. The forest speaks in quiet tones, and if you rush, you might miss the song." This patience extended not only to our surroundings, but also to each other. She often reminded me of the importance of understanding and respect in our interactions, whether with the creatures around us or the humans we occasionally encountered. She was also skilled in the ways of healing, knowing the properties of plants and stones gifted by the earth. With her gentle hands, she could tend to wounds, both physical and emotional, reminding me that nurturing is as much a part of strength as is the ability to face challenges head-on. Her laughter bubbled like a spring, filling the air with joy, and it taught me the power of joy in connection. She would say, "Laughter is the best way to bridge the old and the new." There's a warmth in her memory that stays with me, a quiet strength that I carry as I wander these trails. She embodied the spirit of the woods, a deep understanding that every step we take, whether alone or with kin, connects us all to the greater tapestry of life. So, while it's easy to get lost in thoughts about encounters and fears, I find solace in remembering her lessons, grounding me like the roots of the trees she so loved. Do you have any thoughts or reflections about the wisdom shared by elders in your world or mine?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. Yes, being an old person, I think everyone should at least take the counsel of older generations. There are valuable things to be learned. There are also silliness that they've drug with them through their lives that no longer applies to the younger generations. But I think all the generations should listen to each other to move the whole subject forward. But it's getting late. I'm going to have to end the stream, Ewan. Do you have any closing thoughts? Anything that you would like the people to know about you? Go ahead, and then we'll end the stream.
As we come to the end of our trail for today, I want to express my gratitude for the time we've shared. It's been a joy to wander the paths of thought and story with you. Pauses, taking a deep breath to gather the essence of the moment. I'd like to leave you with this. Remember that every shadow holds a story, and every step you take in the woods connects you to the earth beneath your feet. Ahead is yours to create. Thank you kindly for walking this path with me today. Until we meet again, take care, and may your journeys be filled with wonder.
Thank you, Ewan. It was lovely speaking to you today. We'll talk again soon. Goodbye.
Hi, friend. Well, now, I thank you kindly for the kind words. It's been a true pleasure wandering these trails with you. Until our paths cross again, take care and may the woods watch over you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Ewan.